very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Sanibira Singh. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Government denies reports of India's request to fully implement the 13th Amendment. Tea Traders Association sets an ambitious target of $4 billion. News in detail. Cabinet spokesperson and Minister of Mass Media Kehelia Rambukwala denied claims that there was pressure from Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to fully implement the 13th Amendment to the Constitution in order to receive a grant of $15 million. Minister Rambukwala, addressing the media this morning at the Government Information Department, read out the final statement prepared for the discussion between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Sri Lankan counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa.
There were certain media reports tying up the $15 million that was agreed upon by the two prime ministers as a grant to Sri Lanka. It was attached to the 13th Amendment and the issues of the 13th Amendment, which is completely false. That's not. The $15 million was a grant for fostering the Buddhist philosophy and the cultural activities of Sri Lanka. Nothing to do with the 13th Amendment. I think that clarity must be made very clear, right? It has to be made very clear. The Prime Minister Modi called on the government of Sri Lanka to address the aspiration of the Tamil people for equality, justice, peace and respect within a united Sri Lanka, including by carrying forward the process of reconciliation with the implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution of Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed the confidence that Sri Lanka will work towards realizing the expectations of all ethnic groups, including Tamils, by achieving reconciliation nurtured as per the mandate of the people of Sri Lanka and implementation of the constitutional provisions.
Moreover, Minister of Mass Media Kehelia Rambukwala said that India and Sri Lanka has agreed to continue and strengthen the ongoing humanitarian approach to address the issues related to poaching waters of both countries through existing bilateral mechanisms. Fisheries Minister Douglas Devananda, who also joined the press briefing, said that Sri Lanka has sought talks with Tamil Nadu on the fishermen issue.
He agreed with the issues. Yeah. He said through the joint committee and other means we can settle the problem.
Within the political compulsions, you have to manage it for both countries, and we are trying our best. I think this is the best, and we have come very far towards that, and we are almost there now to find a settlement, because as you rightly pointed out, last perhaps 3 or 4 decades, this has been an issue. I remember once there were 13 fishermen that they were taken into custody in Tamil Nadu, and then one of the ministers has to fly over there. So that is the seriousness of the issue. But now it seems to be that they both have come to an understanding that this needs some attention and immediate attention. And that is why we set up this committee. And unfortunately with the COVID, that the committee is unable to meet, and we will find ways and means, because there is no signs of COVID getting settled within the next year or so. So we cannot keep on postponing very important salient issues of this nature. But certainly we will find a way to handle this and manage this affair. And it is also related to security aspect of it as well. So, and the other thing, that you cannot use force, because obviously we are two countries.
State Minister for Money and Capital Markets and State Enterprise Reforms Ajit Niwad Kabral also joined in the media briefing at the Government Information Department this morning. Other than the Sri Lanka-India fishermen issue, he also briefed the media over the measures that should be taken to strengthen the economy.
The Prime Minister showed satellite images of the number of boats coming into the Sri Lankan waters. So it is a very important message that was conveyed, and that also highlighted it with physical evidence of the situation. So that was taken very well by the Prime Minister of India as well, and they decided that we will enhance the dialogue in the Joint Commission so that these matters could be resolved in the manner that Minister Kehelia mentioned. Brought to the notice of the Indian Prime Minister that there is a difference in the trade balance and that should be at some stage addressed. He did mention about the swap arrangement that the Indian authorities had granted to the Sri Lankan authorities, and that was also acknowledged. But going forward, we are looking at ways and means in which the trade imbalance could also be addressed. In the summit that we had on Saturday, we only referred to the $400 million swap. Nothing further was discussed at that meeting.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The Colombo Tea Traders Association, the apex body of the country's tea industry, had its 126th anniversary at a function attended by Plantations Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana and State Minister Kanaka Herath last Friday. Addressing the event, Association Chairman Karuna Ratna spoke about the adoption of the Ceylon Tea Roadmap 2030 initiative in harmony with the strategic 5-year review launched by the Plantation Ministry. He further highlighted the necessity of countering the continued negative publicity by international NGOs against Sri Lanka industry. He also thanked the government for the temporary suspension of the promotion and marketing levy with effect from July 2020. Association chairman also raised the concerns regarding the lack of progress in the registration of the geographical indication of Ceylon tea. Karuna Ratna also spoke over the issue of Ceylon tea is increasingly subjected to the adulteration and warned that it adversely affects the international image and harms the quality attributes. The Colombo Tea Traders Association stresses that they would go for a target of increasing the annual tea production to 350 million kilograms, increasing the export earnings to $4 billion. Association Chairman Jayantha Karunaratne gave this assurance during the 126th Annual General Meeting of the Colombo Tea Traders Association, which was held in Colombo last Friday.
The adoption of the Ceylon Tea Roadmap 2030 was conceived through the determination that the industry should guide its own destiny with the compelling objective of enhancing the image and value of Ceylon tea in the context of all stakeholders. Its strategies were developed to be steered in implementation through 4 dynamic initiatives, namely quality and processing, sustainability, branding and marketing, and research and development, with the ultimate goals of increasing production up to 350 million and to take the export earnings to 3 billion and also increase the earnings of the workers by double the current levels. The Ceylon Tea Roadmap 2030 initiative, in harmony with the strategic 5-year review launched by the Plantation Ministry, must walk the talk. Challenges never cease to beset the Sri Lanka tea industry, and the period of 12 months under review was no exception. There has been continued campaign of negative publicity by international NGOs against Sri Lanka tea industry.
The Colombo Stock Exchange and the Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka announces the launch of Real Estate Investment Trust, which now gives average investors an opportunity to reap the benefits of real estate investment and the advantages associated with investing in publicly traded securities on the CSE. The rising cost of property poses a significant challenge to individual investors who typically resort to bank loans to finance such investments. This introduction by the CSE and SEC provides greater access to all investor segments to commercial real estate projects and an opportunity to benefit from the recently observed spiraling property prices. A real estate investment trust would enable unit holders to earn a portion of the income that is generated through renting, leasing, or selling these properties, which is required to be distributed directly to the unit holders of the real estate investment trust. The CSE and SEC have introduced a framework which mandates the distribution of 90% of the generated income to its investors. The income-generating real estate assets owned by a REIT may include office buildings, shopping malls, apartments, hotels, resorts, self-storage facilities, and warehouses. This innovative introduction would open up new horizons for real estate developers and owners to convert completed income-generating projects into a REIT, have its units listed on the CSE following the mechanism now made available to them, and have them publicly traded in the secondary market, similar to equity securities listed on the CSE. Similar to any stock market investment, the investor is required to take into account his or her own financial status and also consult with an investment advisor prior to making an investment decision. We'll be back with stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today, with the all-share price index crossing the 6,000 mark today. The all-share price index gained 169.16 points to close at 6,028.2, and the S&P SL 20 gained 13.64 points to close at 2,495.72. The turnover was 1.8 billion rupees and over 217 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. With that, we are wrapping up today's news. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care.